Okay. Hey.
All right, Ron.
Yes, mate.
Good to see you again.
Yep.
We're going to continue on our quest around the culture cloud,
Yep.
and we're up to language.
Yes.
So, language, linguistics, and paralinguistics.
Yes.
Let's have a look at that.
Okay. Do you want me to call up the map?
Yeah, let's put
Quick look
the
at the
cloud
map.
up.
Okay. So the map is there. We've progressed from worldview around to paralinguistics, linguistics, and language. Um, I mean, it's really. Do you want me to go off this and go back to?
Yeah. Let's come back to us.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. It's really it's very, very difficult with such a map to go so quickly over things which are so critical and involve and need such incredible in-depth knowledge. So I started my study in linguistics in 1971. I did a degree in learning and teaching, and I taught English for a number of years in high school, and then taught critical discourse analysis at uni. It's very hard to explain to people who have not studied linguistics just how incredibly complex, indeed wicked, the human language is. And we all use it unconsciously. We all speak it, we write it, we all use gestures, we all enact various rituals as part of language, and yet very few people study it. And even those who study it, no one in the world, no one on the planet can explain how children acquire language.
Mm.
It's not explicable. The behaviorists used to think they had a market on it, and they said that language was acquired through mimetics, through copying. But that was completely ripped to shreds in the 1960s and 1970s. And the closest we have now to any understanding of the acquisition of linguistics in children is by the embodiest neuropsychology group, and people like Thomas Fuchs in particular, but also some of the other writers like Damasio and Thompson, etc. They argue that language is acquired through gestural embodiment that's eventually turned into text. I guess people understand that children can communicate with their parents without text, without language, for the first 2 years of their lives. They can communicate within seconds of being born, and most of what is communicated between child and parent is paralinguistic. It's gestural. And so we acquire all of our metaphors, which we all use unconsciously, through gesture, because our metaphors are usually the turning of a physical gesture into a linguistic code. And so all of this stuff is foreign to people in risk and safety who don't study anything about language, which explains why so much of risk and safety uses such silly talk and such silly speech in how they explain things. So, so for example, that safety group that talks about 0 + 1. I mean, even a mathematician, will tell you that is completely, just linguistic nonsense. And so, to speak about zero harm, for example, is also nonsense. It is a direct contradiction of what it is to be a fallible human. And yet safety continues to speak nonsense to people. And that shows their inability to make linguistic sense to anyone. So in this particular part of understanding culture. We know that language is the bedrock and the foundation of how each culture explains itself. And so if we go to a different culture, we obviously can't understand them because we can't speak their language.
Yeah.
You know, you jump in a plane and fly to Cambodia, get out the plane, you can't speak the language, you can't read the language. There's not one part of their alphabet which resembles anything like English code. And so it's a complete new code to learn. Or fly into Finland where they actually have the same alphabet structure as we have, but you look at their language and you can have a complete sentence in one word, you know. So, and I've tried to learn some of these languages, and I've learned in my past, I've learned Greek and German, fairly easy languages to learn in their structure. Let me tell you, I tried Finnish and it is beyond me. Yet I have a little 7-year-old who is fluent in Finnish, who can translate English to Finn and Finnish back to English at the age of 7. And yet her mother has had endless Finnish lessons and still can't speak it well. So language in many ways is a mystery. We don't think it when we speak it. And yet the risk and safety industry doesn't seem to think it matters at all. And yet it's the key to all messaging.
And I think it does go deeper than that, Rob. When we talk about the word community in English, that we have a clear understanding of that. But in German, it's different.
Well, in many languages are different. Look, you go to a word like community, it manages what it actually matters what verb you put with it, you know. And then you go to words like society, or you go to words like sociality, and so on. Look, I was talking to someone this morning who was talking about in risk and safety, that they have soft skills and hard skills. And I said, well, you obviously don't know anything about linguistics, because soft skills and hard skills is pejorative nonsense. We have people skills and non-people skills. So this is where language really matters. I mean, imagining saying that listening to someone is a soft skill, and we really want hard skills like policing and belting people up, you know. This is the kind of nonsense you get when you don't know anything about language, and you just talk rubbish to people, and the safety world just, it's part of their culture. I mean, when you talk about safety culture, you really, one of its characteristics is ignorance about language, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's just, you know, it's as crazy as listening to an engineer presenting a lecture on ethics, you know, which is also common in safety.
So we've now actually come down to the generalizations, stereotypes, and spin.
Yeah.
But on the other side, talking off that, is what is said and what is not said.
Oh,
metaphor and memes.
Okay, well, in critical discourse analysis, which one really needs an education in, you can't just pick up a single book and somehow think, oh, well, I can now perform critical discourse analysis. One of the key skills in critical discourse analysis is being able to hear what's not said. So the other day, I was working with a person who was looking at their fatality risk framework written by their organization, right? And this is a document on managing a fatality in an organization. The word care did not appear. The word helping did not appear. The word person did not appear. The word empathy did not appear, and so on. The word controls appeared 45 times. And this is a document on fatality risk management. So there was nothing human in the document. The document was all typical traditional safety is control this, hazards this, hazards that. And this is what critical discourse analysis gives you. And most safety documentation I read doesn't have the word learning, doesn't have the word listening, doesn't have the word care. I even read a book the other day on what was called care leadership, and there was nothing in the book on caring. And you go, wow, this is a book on how to be a caring leader, and there's nothing in the book on caring. It's like, this is what safety does. It tries to talk about what it doesn't know. Like you look at psychosocial safety, right? So you look at psychosocial safety, everything is about hazards and objects, and nothing in any of the standards and nothing in any of the documented work is about actually the nature of people and the suffering and harm of people. Think of that. So this is what we get from critical discourse analysis. When you go deeper and you start looking at things like the memes that are used and the metaphors that are used, most of the groups in risk and safety are not even conscious of these metaphors they use, which are mechanistic, behavioristic, focused on objects, and have no cognizance at all of people.
So, Rob, I think it's a good place to end the
Okay.
discussion on language as far as culture goes.
Okay, let's
We'll
stop
move
that.
to the next part.